Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Rust Belt Collector here, and we are finally taking a look at this, the other 3-pack that I got in the other day from Amazon. As you can see, this one is an Elite 3-pack with a Grunt, an Elite, and another Grunt. These are all pretty awesome looking. I'm really excited to dig into this pack. From everything I can tell, these are all unique figures. I know for a fact these two are. This one may not be. It might just be a repack of the one that came with the Shade Turret, but I don't have the Shade Turret, so I can't confirm or deny that. But these two, for now, are definitely unique. We have a red repaint or redeco of the Elite Mercenary, and a purple redeco of the Grunt Conscript. The packaging is of course classic for what we've been getting with the World of Halo line and just Halo merchandise in general. It's the Halo Infinite merchandise packaging. It looks good, it's nice. You can definitely keep this on the card if you were into that type of thing, but that's definitely not what we do here on this channel. On the back, it's your standard Wave 3 single carded, a couple of the double packs you can get usually at Target. I've never seen these at like Walmart or Meijer or anything, so these seem to be mostly located at Target. And then you have the two vehicles. I did a review of the Gun Goose on my channel already, and I have not found the Shade Turret yet to review that. So that'll come eventually, but so far, it's just that one that's actually on the channel. But anyways, let's break this packaging open and take a look at the figures. These 3 figures are definitely really cool additions to the Covenant ranks, or really rather the Banished ranks, since presumably these characters are all fighting against Master Chief in the upcoming game. They're not technically the Covenant anymore, they are the Banished, and I don't really know much about that lore yet. I'm still playing through Halo Wars 2, and I need to play through Halo 5 before Infinite is released, but regardless, these are awesome characters, and really you could, because of their design, you could fit them in with previous Halos. I think the Red Elite would work really well as a Combat Evolved or Halo 2 Elite Major, and these Grunts could definitely fit in with the Halo 3 or Halo Reach Grunt aesthetic. Now as for the weapons, the Elite of course comes with this plasma energy sword that we've gotten in a couple other figures, including the Elite Warlord. The Grunt Conscript comes with a Needler, which we've also gotten before in a couple different packs. And then this Grunt comes with the Disruptor, a new weapon for Halo Infinite, similar to maybe like a Brute Spiker, but oh, he's fallen over. But we'll have to wait and see, and we'll find out exactly how well that weapon works in-game. Now, of course, this pack does come with 3 of the included figure stands, what we've pretty much gotten with all the other ones. Still really nice, not complaining, but when I say that at all, I'm saying we're getting these, and I'm really grateful we're getting these. One comes in like a muddy texture, one in a grassy texture, and one in a rocky texture. Really awesome. We've gotten a lot of these in various packs, including the UNSC Checkpoint, which came with 10 of these, so we're really building these out, and we're able to do a lot of cool terrain for shelf displays. They work for toy photography. They're very versatile, and I'm really glad that these are included with pretty much every single pack. And starting it off with the figures, we have this purple Grunt Conscript. Very cool color, kind of a bright, vibrant violet maybe. I'm not the best with naming colors, but I can definitely tell this is a bright purple. It looks really cool. Comes with the Needler. Nothing unique about the Needler. It's the same that we've gotten before, with those really nice transparent needles sticking out of the top. I absolutely love that. As for the figure itself, it is simply a redeco of this Wave 1 Grunt that we got in various multi-packs, as well as single carded, I think, or no, this only was released in the multi-pack, but either way, it is the same sculpt, it's the same mold, just recolored and slightly darkened, either in the type of plastic, or maybe it's got like a paint wash over it to give it this darker hue. But either way, still really cool. This could work as a Halo 3, Halo Reach, or Halo Infinite Grunt. So depending on how you want your collection to look, depending on what figures you have in it, they could work in really any scenario. And the World of Halo line is definitely building out those other game franchises. They're not just focused on Halo Infinite, so it's nice that we have these where they can work in various different franchises, in different eras of Halo, rather. That's just one way to put it, but yeah, either way, really cool to have these, and I'm glad that they've already jumped into repaints. You know, some lines take a while to get into repaints, but they are just cranking them out right out of the gate, and there's nothing wrong with that in my mind. Like, I'm grateful for it, because repaints really are what draws me to lines when it comes to these types of characters. I don't want to say like, oh, I want to see 1,000 repaints of characters where they're not accurate. But when it comes to just diversifying army builders, it's what I love to see. I love to see repaints of clone troopers. I love to see repaints of Spartans, Marines, characters that are kind of faceless, or grunts, characters that can just fill out the ranks of a collection. And that's what this is here. Looks so cool. I mean, it's just a unique color. Maybe it'll fill some sort of special role in Halo Infinite, but even if it doesn't, it's nice to have this right here. And if you're wondering, it is actually a different shade of purple than this Elite that came with the UNSC checkpoint. This is much more of a deep, like, I don't know, grape? I would call it a grape color. Like, it looks like Concord grapes, And this is more of like violet, I would say. Lavender, violet, somewhere in that shade range. So they don't really match. I wasn't sure if they would, but in case you were wondering, they are not going to mesh together in that sense. But that is okay. I don't think that they necessarily are supposed to. Then moving on to the Elite. There isn't a rank associated with this guy, so I don't know if he's going to be like an Elite Major or anything. It just says he's an Elite Mercenary. So we have an Elite Mercenary in red. That's cool, and I like that. It'll work in a lot of different scenarios. Once again, I mean, this could be an Elite Major. It could just be a red Elite. It depends on what you want it to be. And as I've mentioned before, this could work with a lot of different figures in the World of Halo line. Not necessarily all of them are out yet, but there has been talk that they're going to be branching into other eras of Halo. So this could work with CE. This could work with Halo 3, Halo 2. It's definitely versatile in that respect. And I would say that given how intelligent, how wise the decisions have been from the World of Halo and just like Jazwares in general, I would say that it's probably what the designers had in mind. Like, they made these so that it's like, yeah, they work for Infinite, but they also are placeholders until they make like proper Halo 3, Halo 2, Elites, and Grunts, things like that. So kind of fills both roles, and given how much passion the designers have for the line, I definitely think that they were at least considering that as an option. And yeah, nothing really to report new here. It is a redeco of the standard Elite Mercenary we've been getting. This is actually the third one that we've gotten so far in like a single wave almost. This is from the UNSC checkpoint. There's also a blue one in the single carded wave 3. I don't have that one yet, but yeah, we've already gotten 3 recolors of the Elite, and again, I'm not complaining. I love that. I love that we're getting various ranks and colors for these guys. It's absolutely awesome. And then finally, we have this version of the Grunt with the Disruptor pistol, which looks really nice. It's got some good paint decos going on there. Yeah, this is a new Grunt for Halo Infinite, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we've seen this design in any of the previous games, though its backpack is similar to like a Halo 4 and 5 Grunt. This armored face mask kind of reminds me of like the Grunt Ultras from Halo Reach, but it definitely has its own unique flair. It's very unique. This could be like a heavy Grunt or something like that, some sort of Grunt that would run into battle, is a little bit more heavily armored. There's definitely some roles that this could fill, and I'm not entirely sure which one it will be. Something definitely worth noting is while the body is basically the same as the purple Grunt and as this orange Grunt from the earlier waves, there is one subtle difference, and that is that instead of having an up and a down joint here at the wrist, it actually has an in and an out joint, which is quite curious that they went ahead and changed that. So maybe that's something that we'll see going forward with all Grunts. But on this older mold, and even with the purple mold back there, it is an up and a down on the wrist, which I think for the Grunts at least, I actually prefer the up and the down. I think it gives it a little bit more expression in terms of how it can hold its weapon, especially since its elbow joints are a little bit hindered? Yes, they're a little bit hindered by the sculpt and by the armor. So I think I would have preferred the up and down on this as well, but the in and the out isn't really any issue. It still works, still functions. I'm not really looking for extreme articulation with the Grunts, just enough to be able to hold a plasma pistol or a disruptor or a needler and point it at the enemy. It doesn't need to be super articulated, at least for this particular figure. But speaking of that, let's branch into articulation for this figure and the Elite. I'm really not going to mess with doing both Grunts because they are the same. The only difference, again, is that hand joint, so we'll just show the articulation here. It has a hinge and a swivel at the neck, so hinging up and down and then swiveling side to side. Gives it a pretty good range of motion, allows for a lot of expression there. Hinge and a swivel at the shoulder, which kind of is impeded going forward and back by this armor here. You can still get it outwards though, you can get it forward, kind of pop it out and spin it all the way around, so no big deal there. Then you have the hinge and the swivel at the elbow, gets you to, you know, kind of 90 degrees. It's a little bit limited in its range, but again, I don't think you really need all that much articulation on these grunts. For the hands, just real quick, hinge and swivel, in and out or up and down depending on the grunt. At the hips, you have a ball joint and thigh swivel, so outwards, forwards, backwards, you can get them running, you know, all that good stuff. And then the knee joints, bending to right about there, and then at the foot you have a hinge, which is a little bit tough to work, but it has a rocker. It's really nice. This guy is actually articulated more than he even needs to be, in my opinion, so it's pretty nice, especially at that $10, that little sweet spot, that $10 price point. Absolutely love that. And for the elites, it's pretty simple. Again, pretty straightforward. If you have one, you're familiar with this one. You know, these are all the same. They're just redecos. So I'll go over it very quickly though. There's a hinge up and down and a swivel at the head. Really nice there. Hinge and a swivel at the shoulders. You can only get them just like up to there. That's as much as they are allowed to go with the armor and the sculpt and all that. Same thing with the elbows. You don't really get a 90-degree crunch there, but it's still serviceable. At the hands, you have a hinge and a swivel, though the outward is a little bit tough because that armor does impede it just a little bit on the outward, so it's really just to there and then in from there, swivel all the way around. At the torso, there's a ball joint, and so you can get it side to side. A little bit of crunch, get that arm out of the way, a little bit of crunch forward and back as well. Ball joints and thigh swivels at the hips, so you can get a little bit of an outward, in, forward, swivel it to the side if you need to, and then you can swivel that arm. So this actually does allow it to fit onto a Ghost or another vehicle where the legs have to go on either side of like a chassis or something like that, so that's good. And then you can almost like completely straighten out the legs with the double knee joints, or you can crunch them back down to there. And then at the foot, hinge and rocker, so hinge there to there, and then rocker side to side. So, pretty reasonably articulated, I would say. There's maybe some room for improvement in the shoulders and the elbow specifically, but overall, I'm pretty pleased with how it is for these guys, for the elites, rather, the elites specifically. I think that it works really well. They work, and they're pretty good. There's room for improvement, but overall, I think that they work really well. They have a good range of articulation that allows you to get some really dynamic poses out of them, especially if you're interested in, toy photography or just trying to get some really active action poses on your shelf with these guys, maybe taking on some UNSC fighters or something cool like that. But overall, this pack is amazing. Once again, for that price point, the $30 price point, you're getting 3 figures, 3 unique figures, I should mention, for the price of the single carded figures. So you're not paying more for some sort of exclusivity or something like that. You are paying the flat price for 3 figures you'd normally find in a single card release. And they're not just repacks, they are repaints. I'm not saying that we won't get these in single card releases at some point down the line. We haven't really had the line long enough to determine that yet, and they're still trying to cover ground with a lot of different characters from a lot of different games, so I don't think we're going to see these in single card releases, at least for a little bit. Don't quote me on that. I don't have any kind of information on that, but that's my prediction. I think they're going to keep doing repaints and repacks. They're going to be doing that for quite a while, and I think it's a great way to diversify the line with a quality sculpt that they already have and just releasing the repaints to fill out the line while they still continue to release brand new sculpts, brand new figures in other ways. But yeah, that's going to do it for this review of the Elite 3-pack or the Covenant 3-pack, the Banished 3-pack. It doesn't really have a name, but it's up on Amazon, or at least it was, so hopefully it's still up there. If you look up World of Halo on Amazon, it's there somewhere around the bottom of page 1 or the beginning of page 2, so good luck finding that. I'll try and post a link down in the description, but don't hold me to that. I'm not very good about that. As always, though, there is a link in the description to my social media, to Instagram, to Entertainment Earth if you want to buy or pre-order any figures, to my Facebook, to Twitch, you know, all that stuff. It's there down in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this, and be kind to one another. But as always, I will catch you all in the next video.